I'm here testifying today as a proud Latino, but most importantly, I'm here as an American citizen. The rhetoric coming from one side of the aisle, they want to view Latinos simply as a underclass to siphon votes from and fearmonger from every time that there's an election. It is disgusting to see them criticize that recent raid in Ventura County where they found unaccompanied minors working alongside convicted sex offenders at a cannabis farm. No, we got to keep them there because or else how else are we going to get high if we can't have unaccompanied minors harvest our weed?
That was U.S. Marine veteran, author, journalist Julio Rosas slamming Democrats on House Homeland Security Committee, saying you're all profiting off of Hispanic illegal migrant labor and you're gaslighting America. Julio joins us now. Julio, it's great to see you. You've been to the border. You went to the border and saw firsthand what was going on under the Biden White House. How did Democrats react to your testimony, Julio? Thanks for joining us tonight.
It was a typical deflection. They were saying that, well, actually, we're the ones that care about the plight of these people now, not you guys. You don't actually care about what was happening. But the funny thing is, as being along the border the past 4 years, I didn't see a single Democrat go to the border during the Biden-Harris administration. I covered a House Homeland Security Committee, which is what that hearing was from. They had a field hearing in the Rio Grande Valley. Not a single Democrat showed up to that. I also went to a House Judiciary Committee, which had a field hearing in Yuma, Arizona. Not a single Democrat showed up to that one. The only time I can vividly remember Democrats even having a faint interest in the border crisis was when they wanted to perpetuate the fake Border Patrol horse patrol whipping hoax, which was ridiculous on its face because Border Patrol agents are not issued whips. And yet that was the only time where you really saw all of a sudden, oh, well, there's a racial hoax that we can perpetuate. So let's go ahead and do that. So, sure, they were telling migrants at the time, yeah, you might get robbed. You might get extorted, kidnapped while you come to the border because it's finally open, thanks to us. But as long as you make it and work for pennies on a dollar and long hours, no pasa nada. It's all worth it. It's just the cost of business. And so that's why they're full of it when now they're saying, well, actually, we care about the plight of these people.
Julio, we've talked to Hispanics, and they say repeatedly it was so dangerous to open the borders because of sex and drug trafficking and human labor trafficking. And even trying to cross illegally through the Darien Gap, thousands of people have died doing it that way. So did any Democrats privately say to you, yeah, we agree with you. We know exactly what you mean. We get what you're saying. You're right.
They didn't tell me that, but there were some stories, especially towards election season, where they were privately and anonymously admitting to other reporters that, yes, this was an issue. Yes, they didn't really know how to go about it because they would have to publicly admit that the Biden-Harris administration approach to this was completely wrong. But they still went in lockstep. They wanted Kamala Harris to be the next president, who said at the View interview, the infamous where she said, I wouldn't do anything different from what we're doing right now, which was, as an example, an open border. So it's just pure politics. I mean, it was to be expected. I participated in this hearing because the Homeland Security Committee wanted to get my view on how NGOs made the border crisis worse and actually made it possible to flood our country with all these people who crossed over illegally. So it's they're able to say all this now because the border is secured. President Trump is carrying out his campaign promises to carry out mass deportations because that is one of the major issues that he won on.
Yeah, Hispanic voters say, come here legally, do it the right way, get in line like everybody else did, do it fairly in the right way, right? Julio, final word.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would challenge the Democrats at large right now who are saying this is all racist, this is all xenophobic and cruel. I would challenge them to go to any of these border counties that historically voted for Democrats for decades. And guess what? They flipped red this past election cycle. And there's a reason for that.
Interesting. Julio Rosas, you're terrific. Thank you for your service to America. We appreciate you so much.